Today we will learn about the basis of curriculum. Basis of curriculum is very essential to understand because you know, as for construction of any building, a good foundation is required. Similarly, for excellent curriculum planning, we do need a few essentials on which it stands. As we prepare any building, what criteria we keep in mind? We think that the foundation should be strong, because if it is strong, the building will be strong ultimately. So we take so many precautions while constructing any building. Similarly, in case of curriculum, when we are planning to prepare any curriculum, we keep in mind that it should be based on certain basis. Because the curriculum is implemented in the higher education institutions, implemented in the society, and implemented in the particularly for nation. So these bases are philosophical basis, sociological basis, psychological basis, technological basis. Somewhere other basis has also been explained by the authors, but no problem. We should learn about these four main bases. But before going to in detail about all the bases, it is very essential to know that why we need these bases. So these bases are philosophical, sociological, psychological, and technological. The philosophical bases deal with the fundamental beliefs of the curriculum planner. What is the philosophy of planner and what do he believes? What does he believe? It is very essential to understand. Say for example, you see the idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, realism, these are the philosophies that we study in philosophical foundation of education. We see that philosophical foundation of education provides a separate kind of chapter for every philosophy. Why? Because these philosophies differs from each other. Idealism says that self-realization is very essential. So the planner of curriculum planner, following the same philosophy, will put the content that need self-realization, and he will give the priority to the subjects that give realization to the students. So what is the philosophy of the curriculum planner that is most important to consider for the philosophical basis of curriculum planning? And on the basis of these, whole plan of the education system is prepared. Say for example, idealism is saying that self-realization is essential. It means he will keep all the things that is related to that self-realization. So the ultimate objective of curriculum planning is that the students should self-realized, and students should be self-motivated, should be self-disciplined, and those subjects that gives such kind of motivation to the students be kept in the curriculum while planning this. Similarly, in case of naturalism, here the flexibility is more. Students are giving too much democracy or a kind of a freedom, giving too much freedom. So the subjects that gives space to do yourself are to be planned in the curriculum. Pragmatism is quite different from these two philosophies. What does it say? It says that practical is very important. What is the application of a particular knowledge, that is very essential. So the curriculum planner will keep the subjects that give more space for practical. So in that way, these all philosophies differs from each other. The beliefs of the curriculum planner depend upon the philosophy of education that I told you. Similarly, the sociological bases are concerned with social factors that influence the educational process. You know that school and society, these two are always interlinked. What are the aspirations of society? We always keep in mind while framing the curriculum. The first agency of education is family and the second is society. Why? Because the students who is studying in the school or in higher education institutions, after passing through the class or the passing through the particular course, he will enter in the society, and we want to prepare a student a productive member of the society. So how it is possible? It is possible when we give the certain kind of training or a unique kind of training that is worth it for the society. So the sociological bases are concerned with social factors like influence that influence the educational processes. These social factors ultimately have a significant influence on curriculum planning in terms of social needs, demands and aspirations of the society. Now we come to the psychological basis. The psychological basis of curriculum is concerned with the study of how learners learn. It means the learning theories. This is the part of the psychological basis. And apart from this, we also keep in mind that what is the age group of target population for whom we are preparing this curriculum. So age group of the target population, probable mental abilities, capabilities and their talents, etc., we always consider while framing the curriculum planning. You can understand it with the help of an example also. Say for example, for pre-primary school, we prepare the Bal Batika. There are so many toys are there and kids are playing with the toys and sometimes they are trying to know why it is moving, why it is giving a sound. So they start interacting and they start opening the toys and other kind of activities they start doing. Why? But the student of secondary stage are not doing this. Why? Because the kids are curious to know from where the sound is coming, why this toy is moving. So curiosity of the child motivates a child to open the toy. So this is the stage when the curiosity is more to know the reasons of the phenomena. Therefore, they behave like that. And the span of concentration is very less. They can't sit at one place for longer time. They start moving here and there, touching this, touching this. So, what is this? These are the psychological characteristics of that particular target population. That is primary schooling. But as the child grown up, the psychological characteristics differs, or the psychological characteristics mold it in a way that they like to sit on a chair at least for more hours and want to know the reasons. The primary school students are not trying to know the reason, they are just only touching, only enjoying, and this is joyful learning that they are interacting with the toy. But as they grown up, now the characteristics are quite different. They are sitting and they are writing the reasons, and they are connecting these reasons with the other examples of the outer world, etc. So, the psychological characteristics of the learners differs from pre-primary school to the higher education. And as the psychological characteristics the target population has, we try to make the curriculum as per need of the learner. In primary schooling, we give much more attention to the activities. In secondary stage, we give more attention to the understanding, application as well, skills also. But in higher education institutions, we trying to make them more able to solve the problem. So, problem solving skills and to analyze any concepts, to synthesize any concept, such kind of higher order learnings are there, because the students' age group is quite mature. So, the psychological basis of curriculum is concerned with the study of nature of the learner and the kind of characteristics that the target population has, and what is needed at this stage. We keep in mind these all assumptions before planning any curriculum. The technological aspect also says that it should be technical oriented. That is, the advancement in technology that brings a lot of activities or lot of incentives for us to show in the classroom. Say for example, the textbooks that are available online, and the way of presenting and demonstrating these content is possible through the teaching aids or through audiovisual aids. So, we try to put the content and we try to plan the curriculum in such a way that the technological inputs be giving to the curriculum. So, while framing the curriculum planner always keep in mind that what kind of bases are required for planning any curriculum. As I told you that philosophical basis suggest about the philosophy of education, what is the belief of a curriculum planner, and what kind of education system be drawn on the basis of these beliefs. As I give you an example, that as per the idealism, the objective of the education is to train the student senses and self-discipline, self-realization, and content is as per the need of these objectives. The subjects that give much more attention on the rote learning, and the students learn it by heart, and brain faculties are giving much more nourishment for the learning by the rote, by the memory or by the rote learning, and the teachers were allow to ask the question, and if the student is not able to give the response, there was the punishment also. So these were the beliefs of the pupil in this age, that is the Vedic period. As we move towards the naturalism and pragmatism, the curriculum planning was quite different. In case of naturalism, there was the freedom for a child. A child should be giving a chances to do anything. If the results of the learning is positive, he will acquire this as per the positive learning, and if the results of the particular learning process is negative, he will deny or he will not accept this kind of learning. So these were the beliefs of the naturalism. As we move to the pragmatism, there was much more space for the practicals, and the students were giving the chances. They tried to prove in the laboratory that what is truth by the experimentation, whatever they perceive through the senses is the true. So this was the belief of the pragmatism. So pragmatism philosophy gives much more attention to the experimentation, in spite of rote learning and other kind of learning. So this pragmatism philosophy of education is concerned with the practical subjects of the curriculum. John Dewey was the propounder of this project method. He discovered this method, and this method, project method, also says that start learning by selecting the problem, collect the data and interpret the data as per the objective of the project, find the results and then apply it to the outer situation. Because results are the evidences for that particular learning. So the pragmatism says that whatever we proves true by the experimentation is to be kept in the curriculum. They never rely on the incidents or on the processes that we can't see, and we only hypothesize. So they denied this kind of learning. So pragmatism advocates the learning process in the way where there is more experimentation. Similarly, existentialism gives much more importance to the existence of the individual, and as per the objective of this existentialism, they prepare the curriculum. And realism also give importance to the perception of the senses. So what we perceive is the true by our eyes. So the sense organs are most important for any kind of learning. So these bases gives a kind of platform on which we frame our planning for the curriculum. So for that you must understand that curriculum, foundation of curriculum or the basis of curriculum is concerned with the philosophy, concerned with the psychology, concerned with the sociology, and concerned with the technological advancement of knowledge also. So today we learn that how do we frame basis for curriculum planning, and how can we prepare any planning on the basis of the foundations that needed to prepare any curriculum, and why do we need these bases, etc. So thank you very much for this learning.